Project Zomboid is a difficult and unforgiving game. It is one of the only zombie games I know where one bite can end it all for your character. Even I struggle to survive longer than a week in this game. One of the main reasons for this insane difficulty in the game is due to the large amount of zombies that inhabit the world of Project Zomboid. And when I say a large amount, I mean a large amount. Like, I swear to God, I will walk out of my spawn house and within 5 minutes I will have the entire population of Kentucky on my ass trying to get some of these cheeks. But I found a solution. If you struggle with Project Zomboid and think that the amount of zombies in the world is too high, there are a few different things you can do. The first and most direct approach is to change the zombie population from normal to low in the settings when you make your world. But for me personally, I find that the low population makes this game too easy and I have trouble even finding zombies when it's set to the low population. So what do? There's no in between with low and normal. Well, there's this beautiful tab down here called Advanced Zombie Options. You go to that and there's all of these different options. There's a few that I want you to focus on. So the population multiplier basically is the population of the zombie count. So if you set it to normal, it'll be 1. But if you set it to low, it'll be 0.35. 0.35 is too low and 1 is too high. So what do? Well, what I do is I will set it to normal, but I will change this right here, population start multiplier. Basically, what that does is that makes it so at the start of the game, whatever you set this number to is the amount of zombies that will be there at the start, and it will slowly increase up to the regular population multiplier, and then increase to the peak multiplier, which is the peak amount of zombies that will be in the game at whichever day that you set this number to right here. So at default, it's set to 28. So on day 28, the zombie peak multiplier will be at 1.5. So on that day, there will be the highest amount of zombies that can be in the game at one time. So what I usually do is I will set this to 0.5. So at the start of the game, when you basically have nothing, the zombie population will be halved. It makes it a lot easier to get loot and basically start off in the game. But it makes it so that it will increasingly get harder and harder as you go along. But as you go along, you'll get better and better loot, so you'll be able to fight against the higher populations. So at the beginning of the game, it makes the game a lot easier and a lot more accessible, but as the game goes on, it becomes more and more difficult. But that's not the only thing I changed in this section. Personally, I don't like zombies respawning. I like it so that if I clear a house or a section of a town, I like it so that that place stays clear. I don't want there to be zombies spawning in there. So what I'll usually do is I'll just set all of these values that say respawn to 0. And that just makes it so that zombies do not respawn. And I'm pretty sure you don't need to set all these to 0. I think you only need to set like this one right here to 0, but just to be safe, I set them all to 0. And then there's one more thing in this section that I changed. Now, rally group separation. So rally groups are basically the mini hordes that will come together in the Zomboid world, and I'm pretty sure you've come across these. And at the default setting for rally group separation, it will be at 15. And what rally group separation is basically it is the distance that these little mini hordes can be apart. Personally, I find that 15 is too low, because when it's set to 15, which is the default, I will pretty much run into one of these mini hordes every other minute, and it's pretty ridiculous. So what I'll do is I'll set it to the max it can go, which is 25. And that makes it a lot easier, so I'm not constantly running into these little mini hordes that makes the game pretty much impossible to play, so I'm just constantly running away from countless zombies. And this is pretty much what I do. I set the population start multiplier to 0.5, so at the beginning of the game, it's a little easier for me to get started, but the population is still set to normal. All that changes is that at the beginning, it will be easier and it will slowly increase to the normal amount. And then I turn off respawning and then make it so that the little mini hordes will spawn further away from each other. And that's what I do to make the game a little easier, because personally, I find it on the default settings, it's really, really hard to play this game. If you found the video helpful, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.